In this lesson, you will learn how to use the split feature in SOLIDWORKS to split a single solid body into multiple files. Let's start by opening up the Mouse Master Model SOLIDWORKS part from your Infinite Skills files directory for Chapter 1. We've seen this part a couple of times already, but this time I want to examine a little more closely how it was put together and then taken apart in bodies. Feature Manager includes a lot of surface features, and then at one point you can see we start using features and then split the part into multiple pieces. Let's take a look at how this is done. Just going to roll back by clicking the second feature and using the rollback option. I used a lot of reference surfaces or surfaces as reference. So the first surface was an extruded surface, had some draft on it to give me a draft at the parting line. And the second surface is also a reference surface because I wanted to create just half of the top at a time. The split line adds a break in the bottom surface where the top surface intersects it. This makes it easier to create a boundary surface between them. We'll talk in more detail about some of these surfacing functions in Chapter 2. Notice also that the reference surfaces have been colored yellow, while the main part surface is left gray. This is a technique that I use frequently to help me identify which bodies are being used for what functions in the model. If we continue down through the part, we see different part surfaces being built, different reference surfaces being added or changed. And the details of how this works is probably not as important right now as the overall result. The next step is the knit surface, which is the surface equivalent of the combine feature for solids. Knit is used, if we edit this, to combine several surfaces into a single surface body. In this case, we're putting the model faces together into a single body. And if we look at this after the knit, we have two surface bodies, and before the knit, we have four. Also, as a part of the knit, the surface bodies were changed into a solid body. This option, Try to Form Solid, will form a solid from any enclosed volume that has no gaps or overlaps. So at this point, the surface body became a solid. And at that point, we can start using solid features on this body. So you won't be able to see the results of the shell because it's all internal. We can also hide the reference surfaces since we don't need these. Another tip that I'd like to show you here is to change the color of all of the surfaces at once. You can use this display pane option for the surface bodies folder. Click on the appearance column and the appearance option, and then change the color for all of the surfaces in that folder. In this case, we want to hide them, so we'll just the hide column. From here, we added some more fillets and a plane that is going to be used to split the part. The plane was lifted up off the bottom. If I double click on this, it's offset from the top plane by 0.005 of an inch. Then the next feature is the first split. Notice as soon as I do this, I go from one solid body to two solid bodies, and I've assigned a different color second solid body to help me identify it. So each body at this point can be hidden or colored to help visibility. You can also change to a wireframe view on one body. We have more splitting to do, so I created an additional surface, an extruded surface this time. And the surface can also be shown directly from the feature that created it. So you click on it and click the Show option. Their split feature was used to split a second body. So we went from 2 bodies to 3, with different colors on each body to help identification. Let's take a look at the split feature to see how it was used to create the split. In this case, a sketch is used to split the part, and after the sketch is selected, you can click Cut Part, and SOLIDWORKS will populate the list of resulting bodies. From this list, you click on the ones that you want to keep. Anything that you don't keep will be discarded. So in this case, I wanted to split the top and bottom, but I did not want to split the very bottom piece. So I didn't select those two, and they were not split. They were left joined together. From this step, if you want to save out files, you can use the auto-assign names, but we'll talk about this one at a later time. Also, the Consume Cut Bodies will actually remove from the screen any of the bodies that were created by this split feature. Custom properties to new parts will do just that if you have custom properties set up for the main part. You can also use templates for the newly created parts so that the new parts have the proper settings, named planes, and whatever else you may have set up within your templates. From here, we just click the OK button, and SOLIDWORKS has created us another split body. I'll go ahead and hide the extruded surface body and continue down. This time I've got another. And this sketch could be used to split the bottom and or the top. So let's see what I did in this split feature. We edit the split feature. We click on Cut Part, and then you select the bodies from the list under the resulting bodies header that you want to keep. We could keep this wraparound body, or we could keep this piece on the bottom, but we want to keep that as well as the other main part on the bottom. And for this feature, let's delete the existing feature and recreate it to show you how it's done from the beginning. Now you can use a sketch or you can use a surface for this function. In this case, let's use a surface. So I'll extrude a surface using the midplane option. Doesn't really matter as long as the surface goes all the way through the part in both directions. I like to change the colors of reference surfaces to yellow, so I'll do that. And now I'll create a split feature. Insert, Features, Split. You can also put this on your toolbar if you like. In this case, there are 3 existing bodies, which are listed here, and I'll select my splitting surface and then click Cut Part. This will result in potentially 5 different bodies. Now we have to be careful here to select only the ones that we want, because it could split the top and it also could split the bottom. The bottom to be split. We only want the top. So we'll click. Doesn't really matter if we select that one because this surface is not going to be split. Let's click the next one. Now that's going to be surface on the bottom. We don't want that one. We don't want that either. We do want that, and we do want that. Now we can hide the reference surface and change the color of one of the new bodies. We change the color using display pane that flies out from the feature manager. This is a handy tool to use for hiding and showing and changing color as well.